6/14/2013, out of found. I saw it earlier this morning at sunrise. Yes? I made my way to the outdoors. I did you good. It's an exceedingly beautiful forest area. This was deep woods, deepest in the garden bed, and I understand this to be. I filmed these exceedingly beautiful scenes there, magical. And then at the end, I had this encounter, not with a bear or mountain lion, though with a dog and with an owner. This is a big black dog unleashed. Okay. It did not attack me. Thank goodness. It barked at me a couple of times, aggressive, fierce. I was Siegfried in the woods. I had my sword with me, doing his protective bit, as well as my staff, and you were Siegfried. I felt shaken by the dog afterward. I imagined fearlessness out in the woods with a sword. I couldn't imagine a bear. The dog itself was astir. Now, what did the owner say? The owner and I exchanged a few friendly words to each other, in calm, strong-willed voices, warm and friendly likewise. That was good. Yes, that could have been an intense experience otherwise, for the dog to have attacked me, indeed, though it did not. If there had been no owner. Right, at first I heard it bark. Very frightening. I was filming during the actual incident. It is on tape, huh? I love all dogs, of course, but I would still be a bit unnerved of one off the lead like that. I thought it was a wolf. Oh, yes, I am wishing to include its bark in the film I'm making right now. Oh, please do. There's a sword fight scene in this film. Perhaps this naive dog voice can be the introduction to the scene. Oh, I think so. This video so far, how lovely. It is so beautiful. I'm using Beethoven's latest string quartet, number 14, first movement, C-sharp minor 1. This is very moving music. I'm patriarchal in this film, very much so. I'm holding my staff. I love his later string quartets, the ones that puzzled his contemporaries so much. I am as though Wotan. You were Wotan. The staff is the law. In the woods, yes, with its carved tunes. Yes, animals and spirits obey it, warmly and with friendship and so forth. As I walk through with the staff held out and up. Of course, I love this film. What we need is for a robin or a crow to suddenly appear. There's recitation in the film too. That would have been wonderful. I shall look forward to viewing it. I noticed in the film there are butterflies and so forth that dart about the film scenes from time to time. Marvelous. There are bird chirps from time to time as well. There's a creek filmed, water rushing. Yes, it sounds like paradise. Beautiful film and experience it is. I look forward to it. A favorite of mine so far. June 14, 2013. 6/17/2013. There are things having happened at the property today. Strange things. Oh dear. I do not know. It's difficult to put into clear words. Ultimately, there's a good chance that my 30 days notice will be coming up soon enough. This is not confirmed as of yet, though I sense that this is going to occur soon enough to me. Oh my. Then I searched online. At first for an apartment, a 1-bedroom, and so forth. Yes, it's ultimately impossible. That is, such simply cannot be acquired by me. Outlawed, prohibited. So I'm considering moving to a different state, possibly renting a room. A different state? Though when I search for another place, make sure now that I include Christian in the subject line. I feel when I do this, there's better essence for the search to turn out. The term itself, it diminishes all potential degenerates, and so forth. Yes, very good idea. I do not know of a better term than this. Absolutely. In California by now, it is almost entirely out of the question to me. There could be some opportunities here and there. Don't forget the church. They might be able to help you find a place to live. Even the church in another state. Though the cost of living in another state, I understand this is to be cheaper. Possibly far cheaper than in California. Cheaper than California, yes, I can imagine. Also, the community standards. I remember hearing from Tor. The community standards in other states are highly more efficient and so forth than of California. Better people. Almost each and every other state. Yes, I can believe that too. California is truly a terrible state to live in. Yes, I read a lot about it. It is darkening every day. I understand. I'm looking for a place in the state up north. Yes, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana. Why do they want you out of the property? Tor had visited these states, loved them. Specifically Idaho, he told me. Do they want to put the rent up? I understand Terry has found a buyer for now. Has found a buyer by now. Ah, I understand. But this is officially so. So within some weeks to come, since I will be given my 30 days notice from her. Okay, yes. Wouldn't it be sensible otherwise? I understand Idaho is beautiful. Another state might be the answer. Yes, Frick. There's people there too. I think that my car can make it to some other states. Yes, but I also sense that it might be good for you to join the church, befriend good people. If I'm to move out to another state, I must learn from Social Security what the adjusted benefit amount to me per month will be there, and join more of a community. Yes, of course, the benefits may change. To acquire the answer to that question, the administration is almost impossible to work with. To acquire any clear answer from them, I must phrase my question perfectly to them, otherwise I may not receive the right answer from them. I can imagine. Terrible administration. They are. We're so small, it's the same everywhere. It's no different in states. Yes, of course, it must be very difficult. America is indeed enormous. Government red tape is bound to be terrible. Fourth largest country in the world. Yes, it's a huge country. Yes, in America, the administration is running out of money. I don't know how many times Great Britain would fit into America. Dozens of times at least, Frig. I read it by sometime in the 2030s. The administration will have gone broke. Too many immigrants, even illegals, now getting amnesty. That is true. There are drug addicts that use this program. This all puts a strain on the administration. Unnecessary recipients, so many of them, on this government program. Yes, it is the same here. The benefit amount could be raised otherwise, if the conditions were not actually so. Yes, indeed, here too. I thought I must go to work. Then I think more thoroughly upon this. A career is ideal to me, though I must go to college for this and earn a degree. Well, it is an option. But I must acquire sufficient money now. A college in another state, so then I must turn to a smaller worker type. This itself is hellish. Yes, oh yes, no good for you. Yes, that is an option, you say. College in another state, though again I must acquire property right now, not within some years amounts time. I imagine I cannot make it through college courses, were I to go through them, the classrooms, there with the people in them. Yes, property is the most important thing right now. You must have somewhere to live. Yes, right. Yeah, once that is organized, the college will follow. So for now, I must obtain the right answer from Social Security regarding the benefit amount I would receive in whatever other states. Yes, this is very important. You must search online for Oregon listings, Washington, Idaho, Montana. Include the term Christian in the search subject line. Something must come about from this. Yes, Christian is the key. Yes, but the church might help. It is worth a try. That is true, yes, Frig. The church is another resource. I must obtain help from them too. It is. When you're falling, they're the ones who will catch you. It is like that in the United Kingdom. Yes, that's right. The Catholic Church is very helpful and has found property for more than 2 of my friends in the past. They now pay rent to the church. Very low it is, too. Truthful, yes. Failing that, they can put feelers out. Darling, I promise to speak to a priest very soon, this later morning, possibly. For it is the Lord's Day. We have mentioned the Lord's Day to do this. Excellent. Yes, it is nearly the Lord's Day for you. Don't be downhearted if he is not there. I will look for him, if not today, then tomorrow, and so forth. You can make an appointment or try again. Of course. I think it might be your salvation. I think so, very much so, yes. June 17, 2013. 6/21/2013. I'm rather tired right now. I'm not feeling very well. Have you been looking for a place? Is that why you're tired? Yes, I've been looking for a place. It's one of my reasons. It's one of the reasons why I'm tired. Yes, that can be a very unrewarding task, unless you find somewhere. I do have one place in the Garden of Eden that I'm waiting for a call back on. Well, my fingers are crossed. If or when she calls back, then I will look at the place personally. Yes, you must. Inspect it and see how I like this. Is it a cabin or a room? It is a cabin, yes. It is a small one-bedroom cottage, somewhat more expensive than this property. Well, that sounds rather nice, but more expensive, typical. I may not settle down permanently there, if it were I to obtain the place. No. I must simply secure a place by this next month. Time is running out by now, indeed. If things got really difficult, could you live with Oscar for a couple of weeks while you look? I mean, you stand condemned just while you search and found something. My alarm clock is broken. It blinks and flashes always now, as though just as I've said above, the time is running out. I may consider doing so, even for a couple of weeks, the stay at the place were extremely destructive to me. I do not know, but at least you know it won't be forever, and it is better than being without anywhere. That is essentially true. It will be an ordeal for you, I can tell. It would be indeed, but just so long as you have a roof, even if it was for 1 week. I hope this place proves to be right. Though more expensive is difficult. The place will not be right for me. I sense this already. Yes, I understand. It is a community of cottages. Some time you just know. Close by and together they are. Instinctively, yes, too close. I sense a bad impression to the woman on the phone, immediately so. I wonder how. I'm so desperate and mad at this point. How can I present myself appropriately to anybody else? But no. Understood. Well, you will somehow find the courage and the means to do so. I am sure of it. An inner strength. Will yourself to do it. I was crying yesterday because of everything attributable to my life experience. There's nobody present to speak to when scars. No warmth or human voice or anything at all whatsoever to me. I wish I could do it for you. Oh, darling, darling, if I was there, I would sort it all out for you. I'm so sorry, so very sorry. You're such a good person, a decent and good man, so noble. I'm at this point of imagining taking potassium cyanide. Nobody even knows that I contemplate this. I will not be able to acquire such pill, neither will I ever do so. Well, please don't say or think this. I'm so alone. Nobody could comprehend this degree of loneliness. I know you are. You need a physical companionship. There are many, many people that do not care about this either. I do need physical companionship. There should be many that do. This is denied to me. I cannot understand it. You're so lovely. I know the reasoning. So handsome, so wonderful to begin with, so wonderful to be with. I will not destroy my books or my photography. How could I do so? There's a mixture of goodness and badness together with such material. The books and so forth are permanent. I cannot destroy so much goodness along with the badness a part of them. Always, though, I do not like either one of them, neither the up above nor the down below. I was created because of him, yes. However, I do not like them, as though leave me, get away from me. My temperament, my disposition, and so forth, always a solitary. Well, these are the things I cannot help you with or answer you on. This is way above me. I can only be here as a practical, loving woman. I cannot help this. You may, yes. How do I get myself out of this life experience altogether? I cannot do so, I sense. The religious system is exceedingly complicated. The most important thing right now is a place to live. Once there, you sit back and rethink everything. There's much more than 1 or 2 supernatural subjects a part of this. I will send to your words here. Only when you have found a home, then you can formulate new ideas, think out your life and how it will be, what you must do. I'm concerned what is going to become of me at this new place. My end is very near. I sense this, I know this. If the new place is bad to me, well, what concerns me is what is to become of you if you don't find a new place. I may physically terminate involuntarily, and then I'm clearly sentenced afterward. If the new place is bad for you, then you can leave it. You can stay there just as long as it takes to find somewhere else. Just as long as it takes to find somewhere else. I will remember these words from you, and act accordingly if such is the case to me. Well, these are practical things. I know that you think so deeply about everything. I don't always like to do so, but someone around you must remain on a practical level. That is right, for the sake of your sanity. Truthfully, yes, there's nobody around. Well, then, I must think this way for you. You must do so, yes. As soon as I can, I shall send you some coin. That will be a practical gesture. Yes, thank you. That means you have something in the bank. There must be somewhere out there that's perfect for you. It is a huge place. Perhaps it will mean leaving Crestline, the Garden of Eden. Yes, I sense that I cannot choose far away from here. I understand that I must leave Crestline, the Garden of Eden. Yes, well, perhaps the next time you'll find perhaps the next place you find what you will like. You may settle. You don't know until you're there. If only you could find something within your financial range. I don't know if I can do so. No, I know, it is difficult. I pray for you, I always do. Thank you. I want the sun to come out and shine on you. I wish so, and make everything all right. I know you are tired. Well, tomorrow's another day. It is. Perhaps you'll have more success. After some sleep, you may feel it differently. I may try to do so. I wish I could just put my arms around you and hold you. I would if I could. I wish you could. Yes. I do not know this feeling anymore. No, but you will. It will happen for you again. If you want it, then it will not be denied to you. I do not know. Well, you're still so young, really. There is so much time. If and were I to affirm it, he denies it from me. If and were I to forget about it, it seems to come to me. Well, there is always the priest in the church, though I cannot forget about such experience. That's what it is there for, to catch you. I know that you knew love, and now you have lost it. It is denied to me, but someone will come into your life again. I feel it. Nothing can be denied to a truly repentant person. I do not feel it is going to occur to me, though you do feel so. I'll remember your words. Yes, of course I do. A truly repentant person. He does not let up. Perhaps your move will change everything. He continues to destroy me. I will hope for a change of everything during or after my next move. That's right. Do not be irritable to me. I sense this from everybody relative to me. Me irritable with you, darling. I love you. I cannot understand the reasoning for it. I love you dearly. I know. I feel no different towards you now than I did this morning. I do not sense irritability strongly from you. I'm concerned about you and care deeply about you. I know I can never be irritable with you. This assertion aforementioned extends so very far to everybody, so very deeply into time, relative to me, my life experience. I was kind and warm to them. There was experienced dislike and hatred for them, almost always, everywhere. Well, these are things I cannot understand, darling. You're always sweet and warm, a very loving person. Agreed. That is why I cherish you so much. That is good. You know that my love for you is consistent and on an even keel, never falters. I do know. Remember, I love you dearly, and that I am thinking of you while away from you. I will remember this. June 21, 2013. 6/22, 2013. I'm slowing down. This is one attribute having come into manifestation. Okay. Have you slept? I'm losing my capacity to reason. This is another. I've slept far too much as of lately. I'm awake for now. So you have many problems right now, but the most important is a place to live. Do you think that if you can crack that, you might feel a little better? I do not know. I'll wait one person to call back in regard to the certain Crestline Garden of Eden property. If not, I'll call her and force myself an answer from her. Understood. If it is scheduled, then I inspect the place. I don't know if this will take place as yet. I'll leave my train of thought here at this point. After this has happened, could you take yourself off for a drive somewhere nice? If it does happen, do you think it would do you good to get out? I could do so. I do not know, possibly good. Perhaps after the business with this property is sorted out, you can drive to a lovely lake or forest. Just get yourself out into the fresh air. It sounds trite. I must get their eyes off of me. This cannot be done. But sometimes that is a good thing. It is only I here. He and them have nothing else here to observe. This is not good. My condition is not good at all. I'm coming very close to the end. I know this. Well, Odin, remember the last time you felt this way? You took yourself off to the hospital. I cannot do that, no. Right, never again. So can you see your doctor? I will not speak to a priest at this point, by the way. I have too much resentment for the above at this point. I can schedule a doctor-counselor appointment, though this is expensive to me. Okay. I may not be able to afford so. Well, I have no words that can calm you. No words, I know, or help you. I feel inadequate. There's nothing here. It is I. This is it. He is closed to me. Everything, everybody, everyone. I tried to improve mankind. Mankind was fallacious, invalid, small, little, resentful of his special, rare, precious creations. The religious system is exploited by them. They can do this. They can get away with this, still gain access into the paradise, whether noble or not. They condemn the fine creations of his. The fine worthy creations of his are casted into the inferno. They have manipulated the religious system, distorted such through their means, through their cunning, clever, wicked, despicable pseudo-doctrines. They are quantitative. They surround themselves with themselves. They cannot sin severely through this method, though they are meaningless, insignificant, blind, deaf, dumb, fingerless, senseless. What creator praises such qualities? He does not. Though they are hiding from the truth, they end up blameless. The truth affirmers the truth of substances. They know this despicability from the others. They sin because of this, into mortal, unpardonable sin. They, the truth affirmers, the God praisers, end up anathematized because of their sinfulness to the others. Exploitation is successful and complete. Well, Odin, I cannot help you. I read your words, but they are too deep for me. I wish I could. They win, that is that. I want to do something to bring happiness back into your life, but I can't think of how to get there. What can you do to me? I wonder. I know I sense that you are attributable to him. You are an agent of his, as of every other substance. I don't know if that is good or bad in your eyes. Every substance other than me acts through his volition, in reaction or in premonition, and so forth to that of my own volition. You yourself prove yourself good to me, of course. Well, that is a relief. Over and ahead, though, the proposition aforementioned is despairing, though I can only accept this as such. What can I do about any of this? Solipsism is so confirmed, so inveterate to me at this point. Can you speak to ask about your troubles? The public, the car traffic, that this is a dead, forever immediate giveaway of such a solipsistic nature of this life experience, about your mind being so troubled. When I speak to ask about my life condition, I cannot ultimately do so authentically as I do to either myself or to that of you. I descend into mediocrity around him, for I am ashamed of myself around him. Oh dear Odin, and yet he loves you unconditionally. I cannot reveal myself or demonstrate myself around him, as that I do to myself or to you. He does love me unconditionally, indeed. Ask does. Odin does. Yes, he himself. Well, Odin, I can't think what to do or say. The atmosphere at Ask's place, it was forever so cold, so psychologically dementing, abusive, is Ask the closest derivative representation that I have here of the omnipotent Lord up above. Who is this immaterial substance? I sense he is ice, he is malice, he is perhaps actually evil, malevolent. If such is the case, how can I repent to this abstraction, to obtain repentance from a domineering evil? He continues to destroy me even now, so late into my turning to him. Solitude, nothingness, nothing more remains. He constructs me, oh Odin, into a fearsome person. In public, they cannot look at me, they are afraid of me. Elsewhere online, they shun me, they avoid me. I'm too much for them. I read, this guy uses the word eternity in his speech. He's a lunatic. Eternity? Odin, I think you need help. Such a word? I mean real help, understanding. I do. Where? Someone who can help. Someone who can help you. Someone who can help who understands. A doctor. They do not understand me. A doctor, a priest. I will not go to such for the time being. A companion, a commoner, nobody. Aristotle would. What do you suggest you should do? Where is he? You yourself. What do you think is the answer? I will not surrender to eternal punishments of the afterlife. So what do I do to negate these from afterward occurring to me? Is the creator ice and so forth? Is he that wicked Sephiroth? Is he that Colonel Kurtz? I sense that he is. This I cannot totally confirm. Then I see derivations of him, other derivations of him, kindly, friendly, jovial, warm, darling Odin. Who is he? Which side is he predicated a part of? I know that you need to talk these things out. Of course, how could he continue to silence me? What can I do? Hold on to things, Odin. Life is long. That I will try to do so, and you have years ahead of you to put things right. I know you will. That I truly hope so. Of course, and I will be there with you. He could not destroy me at this age. You will. I will. Clearly you will be present always. My presence will be with you, and always, always. I shall be in your heart. It will, this is confirmed, and in your life. In my heart, in my life, you are my blessing, my greatest blessing, Frigg. That makes me very happy. My heart is not ice because of you. My life is not terminated because of you. No, it is a warm, beating heart. You know of this, you're firm at this, a warm, beating heart. Your life is only just beginning, darling. Truly, you have a long way ahead of you. I hope you're right. You do. I truly hope so, once again. Life is full of bumps and bridges to cross, and crosses to bear, but you will do it. Truthful, will I do it? Will I make it afterward into the up above? Besides, because inside you are stronger than you think. This is my only concern. Will I make it afterward into the up above? I know this now. I know my strength, my exceeding magnanimous, tremendous metaphysical strength. It must humble itself before him, legitimately, authentically, purposely, rightly. Of course it is, and you will survive. strong and tall. Perhaps, though, you must concentrate on the here and now, and although the afterlife up above is of deep importance and significance to you, you must live the life you have been given. I sense I must forget about such afterlife for the time being. I understand I forget about such as a concern, then it comes to me as aforesaid. I think so, darling. Negativeness, this quality is desirable to him, from me. I must affirm this negativeness as we understand of this. June 22, 2013. What you are, continued 6/26/2013, 4 days. As of yesterday, I have considered moving back into Ask's place. Whether Condemned is presided there at the place or not, well, a first-rate idea. I've written to Ask earlier this morning about this. No response as of yet, though it is early in the morning still. Yes, I've considered this a strong confirmation. Rather that than be on the streets, and while there you can scout for property. I felt very much more at ease since I've come to this consideration. I'm so pleased. Use your time there to find a place. Yes, I'll acquire a coin for 6 months or so time while there. Indeed, splendid. I will search for a place when I'm ready. Exactly. So when Condemned gets too much, remember it won't be forever. I know, of course. I know that this stay there at the place with Condemned there will most probably be exceedingly miserable to me. When he's really bad, you can get in the car and go for a drive. You're right, I will do so when such conditions arise. I mean, I know it will make you miserable, but you have a roof over your head, and you do not have to stay. Yes, I sensed my reasoning for several months earlier that I am sentenced to hell, I am condemned, and so forth, ultimately signifies this next transition to Ask's place, with Condemned there at the place, that I'm most likely not going to physically terminate. Yes, but try and ride the storm. That is exactly what that meant. Instead, I will suffer hell there at Ask's place. Keep telling yourself that it isn't forever. It is not a prison. I keep telling myself this. Once you have found somewhere you can go. I have these headphones. I'm so thankful for these, actually, as of lately. I discovered that I put them in my ears. My hearing sensation is essentially silenced. Sufficiently enough it is to me. Perfect. They are comfortable enough where I delay on my ears likewise. A good way to blot out Satan. I will not be kept up by him through such means, when trying to rest or sleep and so forth. I am and have been extremely tired and exhausted as of lately, sleeping for many hours. I may probably go back to sleep after this. I'm hurt by myself, strongly so. I'm sad and tearful about everything to me. I mean, afflicted heavily and strongly by punishments from the up above, down to me as of lately. How can I avoid feeling resentful and hateful and so forth because of this activity of his? Know that such sentiments of mine are accidental and circumstantial. They are likewise temporary and determinate to terminate with enough time. As it concerns of my property situation, I may or may not move back into Ask's place immediately after we're here at the Garden of Eden place. I had comprehended and imagined yesterday actually the sheer terror and nightmare that situation would be to me every hour of the day and so forth, were I living there with Satan temporarily or not. If I'm going to move somewhere else, then it is affirmative to me that I simply must settle down and choose for another roommate situation rather than an apartment or cottage and so forth singularly to myself. No, such roommate situation cannot be, I understand, is not so difficult to find or to achieve. I will settle with a step down from here at the Garden of Eden property. It should be definitely better than living there at Ask's with Satan right against me every moment of every day between that paper-thin wall, either actually cursing, exploding with rage, or forever potentially determined to do so apart from my physical sensible threshold vicinity. Also, the degree of insult and offense that it is to experience that psychosis. No, I cannot do this, not put myself through with this, whether temporarily for a month, even 6 months or more is inconceivable to me. No, I shall be looking for a roommate situation later today, hopefully somewhere within the mountain territories around here. Such a situation is indeed affordable to me. It might be more affordable to me than having the Garden of Eden property. I have good news. I found an affordable place in the Garden in Big Bear. I found an affordable place in Big Bear, the Garden of Eden Wilderness. The room is spacious. The house is comfortable. The one other roommate is compatible. Such a pleasant town, the Garden of Eden Wilderness it is. My goodness, the town is above 1,700 feet elevation. This is a mountainous and forested town area that is nearly comparable to the Lake Tahoe climate and terrain and so forth. It's quite a tourist town as well. The people part of the town are almost naturally friendlier than those found in even the Garden of Eden. There's much more activity to do in the Garden of Eden Wilderness likewise. More stores to choose from, more outdoor activities and so forth. There are very desolate hiking trails and unpopulated natural wooded areas most everywhere around this town. The lake is so very beautiful. The cabin itself is a mere couple or so 100 yards away and apart from it is a big, dark, deep blue, pristine lake. The cabin is east of the Fawn Skin Garden of Eden Wilderness Village. I love the village of Fawn Skin so very much for some reason. It is by far my favorite town in all of the Southern California area, Helheim area. I've dreamed about the beauty and coziness and friendship and so forth of this town. Fawn Skin is situated immediately north of the Big Bear Lake Garden of Eden Wilderness itself. There are cabins there just up again the lake's shoreline, looking south onto its waters. Heavenly paradise it is there. I drove both to the cabin today to check it out, and drove back home afterward with a fixated, calm, peaceful, subtle smile on my face. I knew that this is the one, the right town for me next to situate myself within it. This cabin in the Garden of Eden Wilderness will be my fourth resituation outside of my Ask and Emla family, outside of my Ask and Emla Vanner family, and onto my own. The final cause is since entirely part of this next relocation. Ask saved me through this assistance of his. It was because of him that I found this house offering. The Father up above is everywhere peaceful, happy, cheerful, in harmony with the setting and establishment of this town. This town, Big Bear Lake / Big Bear City, the Garden of Eden Wilderness. I feel it is, if not one of the most, then it is the most blessed town, a part of the Southern California Helheim area. It is wonderful news. Ask is to be praised to the highest, as I see he found this for you. At least I think this is what he meant. Oh, is it yours? Do you know that you can move there? It sounds the most perfect place in the world. The roommate, too. Have you met him? This is fantastic. Oh, I must hear more. I knew everything would be all right. Great news this morning. It was. Oh, I'm devastated. I'm betrayed by him. What? The cabin has been taken already by somebody else. Oh, before I had even called him again afterward, the place is out of the question to me by now. The place is out of the question to me now. Did Ask find it for you? Apparently I did not call him soon enough. Well, Ask had pointed me to a specific town website that I had otherwise no knowledge of it beforehand. I found the offering through its means afterward. Well, are there any more places there? Can you look around and ask? I had never felt more betrayed by him in my life since as of this morning. However, there's another offering that I at least believe it is still available, that of which beforehand even the other place that I found offered I had scheduled with this first place, to meet with the person in town. It is affordable to place, likewise. Oh, darling, be quick. Similar price, it is in the Garden of Eden, but the Garden of Eden Wilderness, likewise. Struck with the iron's hot? There's one person there. Don't let it get away. Well, I've struck the iron already. There's a meeting scheduled with him. Oh, great. I'm so pleased. He wishes to get to know me more first beforehand. He is 19 years of age. Fantastic. I do like this idea. Though, yes, there is somewhat of a strong suspicion in me. You can be pleasant and jolly. That he is anti-sexual. Well, even if he is, this is not confirmed to me. And yes, you don't have to have anything to do with him. You can keep to yourself. Even if he is, I truly do not concern myself with it at this point in time. And they are usually very well behaved and not aggressive. They can be very kind. That is true, and I sense well behaved qualities attributable to him. Yes, he is a video gamer, young and quiet. Oh, you like gaming? Stress-free would be, yes. You have something in common. No patriarchal authority and father archetype above me while there. Yes, stress-free, that's right. Oh, I can feel this is good. I sense this is right. Me too. I hope so. I really truly hope that I get this. I must pray to him. If not, you must stay looking in that area. You cannot be betrayed by this. That's right. I have until the 17th of next month. If it is right for you and you like each other, then you can live there a long time. Time is not completely out right now. No, you're right. Long time, yes. I would like to experience that. I was thinking, am I intimidating in person because of my beard, particularly so? Should I shave this? Yes. Unmentionable, unutterable. Lips, unmentionable, unutterable. Unmentionable, unutterable. I think unmentionable, unutterable. Unmentionable, unutterable. Lips. I will not cut my hair. You can always grow it back at a later date, but leave your hair. Though I think I must do this other activity. You're right. Your hair is wonderful. I may do this today. At last. Lips. At last. And not intimidating. It has a gentle quality. No, I agree with you. Yes, do this before you meet him. It's true with the birds, the avians, helmeted. Fair enough. Do this before you meet him. Flying, riding. Yes, but of course. Yes, of course, as you suggest. Excellent. 1200 noon. I must meet him then. With your good looks and gamer knowledge, he will say yes. Ha! Be relaxed and friendly. I'll try my best to do so, darling. I've taken a sedative as of this morning. I'll be calmer until then. More efficient cause. Relaxed, peaceful, and so forth. Just explain that you are the type to keep himself to himself. You're no trouble and just like a quiet life. Yes, take a sedative to calm you. I'll imagine that I'm a private person, just as you say, keep to myself and quiet and so forth. I'll call him beforehand. Tomorrow must go well, I really hope so. It will. He's 19, just a boy. He's just a boy, a kid, a sense, a gamer. Indeed, a silly thought. You'll have a great time, haha. Great time, indeed. I'm hoping for this. I was in the middle of taking some photographs of me earlier morning yesterday. That is, a final last time, ultimate photography of myself here at the Garden of Eden property. And while the news had occurred to me that of which was too good to be true, although it is true, the telephone had rang and I had barely made it in time to answer it. Behold, it was indeed the person again from the prior Garden of Eden wilderness property. Name withheld is his name. That moment. Mario is his name. He spoke to me that the prior roommates, having had taken the place, has since backed out and took back his money, his coin, so the place now is confirmed to be mine. Mario Alias Balder. Alice Balder has sensed disappointment in my voice's tenor during the time before he had spoken to me on the phone about the place having had then been taken. He told me essentially that I was his first choice to speak to afterward. His place had become available once again. I was and I am so glad to know of this. It is such a blessing. A test it was, a temptation from the up above, I assume. I knew it. I sensed it too strongly that the place was determined to be mine. The address and name, it was too meaningful to me to be for someone else otherwise. The number of the address themselves add up to the number 8, which has been showing up and manifesting in good terms to me most everywhere as of lately. The place is confirmed to be mine by now, so thankfully, such a relief this is. I must drive up to the Big Bear Wilderness later Wednesday evening here, and send him 200 Helheim coin down for the place, as a security deposit this is most probably for. Then I shall begin moving in sometime during July. Oh, Odin, darling. The sun came out and showered his beam on you and on me too when I read your words. How beautiful that is. I'm so happy that I think I can leap in the air. All is well, all is happy. You're blessed, and I'm blessed in your happiness. Your words are truthful indeed. I've spoken to Mario again. Yes, again today. He will have me deliver I've spoken to Mario alias Balder again. again today. He will have me deliver the security deposit at his place tomorrow morning at 1100 before noon. Then I shall begin packing up my things here and moving in to the new Garden of Eden Wilderness property sometime during the first week. Sometime through the first weekend of July. A rental contract will be signed beforehand too. I had been at the college earlier today. Such a different experience it was this time while there. Ultimately, I had ended up speaking to someone there, a cleaning lady she was. She'd mentioned to me, "Do you know that you look exactly like Jesus Christus?" I had smiled and said to her, other persons have mentioned this to me before. Actually, I like this idea very much. Eventually, I was given a pocket-sized New Testament from her. After we had spoken more to each other. Then she is cleaning my room that I was using. I must move, and I see there's a room open with a grand piano in it. While I was talking to her, I end up being offered to use that room with the baby grand piano in it. I ended up playing the Parsifal first. I ended up playing the Parsifal first act on it. This was the first time in years that I was to have played on a piano other than a compact upright. Wonderful experience it was doing so. I recorded an improvisation afterward, but it was a terrible turnout. There was a serious flaw in the sound atmosphere. That is, the microphone was not positioned stable and securely on the piano, so the sound of it would pick up almost entirely throughout the piece, rattling and trembling. Oh, how painful that was to experience. The music of the piece itself was maddening, noisy. No, it could have been so much better. While I performed the piece, I experienced chills and tears during its performance. Then afterward, I listened back to the piece. I was maddened by it, livid with anger by it, as though I asked myself, am I out of touch with my reality, with my performance? Is it not so beautiful as I first-hand experienced it to be? Well, today was, I feel certain of this, my last day at that miserable, vicious, criminal-minded college. I could not return to the environment after I have moved. It is to be simply too far of a drive to me afterward. So there are no public pianos available within close and near proximity at Big Bear, at the Garden of Eden Wilderness. The Father Creator would not deny or prohibit the piano from me completely or absolutely. So I sensed that while at the Garden of Eden at the Big Bear Garden, the Garden of Eden Wilderness property, eventually I will have obtained a digital piano of some efficient enough quality. Ask and Amlo will both help me with this. A digital piano with headphones in a peaceful, quiet room. I can only imagine the radical improvements, the radical recovery of my soul that must take place a part of such a spiritual, holy, righteous condition. The improvisations will be quiet of mind, sane and calm and peaceful, with pauses, with breath, and with spaciousness, holy religious qualities, permissible to affirm by the Father up above. June 23 to 26, 20 to 13. 6/28, 20 to 13. Evaluation. Transcendental master causes, such that are behind the substantial causes themselves. The former causes, the transcendental master causes, are such as the controllers, the commanders, and so forth of the latter causes, the substantial material causes. The latter causes are such as the puppets, the agents, the bodies, in utilization through and by means of the transcendental master causes. The industry of the human substantial causes is such as administered foremost predominantly by the Father himself up above, as well as foremost predominantly by the Christus Balder at times. The five sense faculty are of extension over to and covered a part of each and every atomic participle. The eyes, the ears, the fingers, the nostrils, the tongues, of air atomic participles, of fire atomic participles, of water atomic participles, of earth atomic participles. The attention that is practicable, the atomic participles called into question, is foremost and dominative, and is in utilization a part of the self-substances, more customary and more occasional stationary positions. Every last substantial cause sees through the self-substance's perceptive faculty, hears through the self-substance's auditory faculty, feels through the self-substance's tactual faculty, sense through the self-substance's olfactory faculty, tastes through the self-substance and such named taste faculty. The atomic particles sense the self-substance likewise through their own substantial causes, through, again, each of the five senses attributable to the five sense faculty. The transcendental master causes are intelligible identities. The English language is understood by them up above. Not each and every letter of speech abstraction is weighed or held accountable from the substantial self cause, nor not each and every particular specific activity from the substantial self cause. The essence of the speech abstraction is weighed, and so forth, as is the essence of the activity. There is industry administration extended over to the human substantial causes, separate industry administration extended over to the animal substantial causes, as well as separate industry administration extended over to the plants substantial causes, foremost primarily administrated by the domain of the Holy Spirit and its transcendental beneficiaries, as well as separate industry administration extended over to the mineral substantial causes. The animal industry is foremost predominantly administrated by the malevolence down below, though again, each and every substantial cause takes volition and dominion from each and every one of the up-above departments of the transcendental master causes. Of any such up-above cause aforementioned, self-substance acts severely in relativity to some specific other substantial cause. The omnipotence then overtakes the specific other substantial cause and administers through such and such means his wrathfulness and severity and so forth, because of the antecedent severe activity of the self-substance. The self-substance acts affirmatively. The transcendental master cause called into question acts negatively in relativity to the self-substance. The self-substance acts negatively. The transcendental master cause called into question most probably acts negatively in relativity to the self-substance. The qualities of affirmative activity extend over to terms such as wakefulness, consciousness, irefulness, and cheerfulness. The qualities of negative activity extend over to terms such as tearfulness, fearfulness, sleepfulness, self-consciousness. There are substantial characters and identities, protagonists and antagonists, that manifest a part of the self-substance life experience. Again, there's a part of this system, administration and industries transcendental from this life experience, that of which operate from the up above and the beyond, as well of such identifiable substances here. There's the friendship industry, the relationship industry, such as family, relatives, the comradeship industry, such as intellectual association, stimulation, as well as the companionship industry, such as the substantial causes of spouse. Again, substantial causes that are predicable to these such industries and administrations are themselves merely soul-less, life-less, sense-less puppets, agents, singularities of themselves that are part of the master causes transcendental and up above and beyond this specific life experience. The companionship industry is administered quite strongly by the Holy Spirit itself altogether. The comradeship industry is administered probably most strongly by the malevolence down below. The relationship industry by the Christus Balder and his foremost archangelic beneficiaries, that of which are charged specifically with such a task to perform. And the friendship industry is administered most strongly formatively by the lower breed of angels, transcendental and removed from this actual life experience. Enemies, foes, and villains are administered, when such are attributable to animosity, by the malevolence down below, and at times separately by the moral lesson, education, punishment, and so forth by the Father up above. Moral lesson education is summarized as such here by the subsequent phrase: "You are a simple creation of mine. You are sent to suffer, perform my tasks as I demand of them from you. If you do not affirm of this me, I shall punish you inevitably to destroy you completely." His tasks demanded to perform them are the essential virtues and so forth are found a part of the New Testament. Scriptures delivered and designed, as is of everything a part of this life experience, purposely for the moral lesson, education, inevitable salvation of the self-substance, the one that is, again, the central substantial cause a part of this life experience always. The master causes transcendental up above wrest the forms of their various specific substantial causes from the guardianship and responsibilities over the self-substance from time to time. breath and restful movements of the substantial causes occurs. Dreams during their restfulness will be stated and explained, demonstrated to have been acquired, experienced, although the narration of the dreams themselves in relativity to the self-substance is instead having become invented and innovated by the thought, abstractions, imagination, and so forth, attributable to the intelligible master causes, a part of the threshold and domain of the up above and beyond. There is an aquarian industry administered by guardianship, beneficiaries, and so forth from the up above, as well as an insect industry, a beast industry, and an avian industry. Each and every substantial causes that are practicable even to the animal industry as well as to that of the plant industry. The human industry is accounted for already written up above, is attributable to and a part of each and every one of the various animal and plant and every mineral substantial causes. The five sense faculties similarly concorded as such to the five sense faculty, that of which such is inherent and attributable to each and every one of the atomic participles of the air, atomic participles of the fire, of the water, of the earth, atomic participles separately and altogether likewise. Shark substances are foremost predominantly administered by the malevolence down below, and also potentially administered by the wrathfulness of the Father up above. The whale substance is predominantly administered by the Holy Spirit and its subordinate beneficiaries. The number and quantity of the beneficiaries themselves up above altogether may perhaps be in the billions, if not in the trillions, or furthermore. Not all of the beneficiaries up above participate in the guardianship activity over the self-substance, though there will be cheers and celebrations from essentially each and every one of the beneficiaries up above that resound and take occurrence a part of them, were the self-substance to have acted or thought or performed, etc., some specific righteous activity, deed, that of which ultimately has increased his level of rank or of afterlife reward, affirmative retribution, when designated at last to physically terminate and to gain access into the up above together with them. The beneficiaries sigh in disappointment with the self-substance that acts badly and decreases his rank, and so forth. The transcendental master causes that controls the companionship of substances will be revealed to the self-substance afterward his physical termination has taken occurrence here. The companionship master cause will reveal itself to the self-substance afterward, as well as most probably each and every one of the various lifelong guardianship master causes. The companionship master cause itself will be most properly attributable most strongly to the qualities and so forth of self-substance's foremost primary companionship substance, of which ultimately one life companion was permissible to the self-substance. The courtroom judgment of the self-substance manifests immediately afterward the self-substance's physical termination. He must have a sympathy of the up above, most absolutely of the Father up above himself, where the judgment of the self-substance to have become passed affirmatively, particularly so, that is passed given with certain specific conditions, or universally so, that is passed without certain specific conditions. June 28, 2013. 7/5/2013. Not quite how I think. I'm not doing well. Oh dear, I'm sorry. Much of this badness of feeling is fearfulness of complete and total solitude, loneliness, and so forth. Yes, I understand it must be a horrible prospect. A sense that I'm becoming completely and totally alone at this point in time. Yes, I know. Is there anything you can do yourself to achieve some human companionship? If you are gone, then I'm surely a burnt offering in the afterlife. I shall never be gone. I'm always here. I'll never leave you. I hear your words. You are my prince. I believe your words. My beautiful prince. I want only your happiness. He's very close to totally destroying me. Yes, despair is everywhere here, so prevalent and so difficult to fight against it. I know you're not well, not happy. You need help, but I'm not sure who can help you. I do need help. I need to get my mind off of him. That's right. I can only do so through someone else that distracts me efficiently from him, that knows what I like, what I please. I do like companionship. I'm not a complete and total monster. Yes, I know it is difficult to find that person. You are not a monster at all. Never have been. No, I'm not. Never have been. I agree. There are so many people out there who would love your companionship. I know it. I must have the right to companion. The right to actual physical companion. I sense so. You must have a physical companion. I know this. Of course, I was thinking differently yesterday night, without putting obstacles in the way. When you move to your new home, do you not think you will meet different people there? I tried imagining that in ancient Greek, polytheism was legitimate and authentic of its truth. As concerning of meeting new people there at the Garden of Eden Wilderness, I do not know. Well, you must try and go out and meet them, even if it is a church or local shop, something darling. I know such a person is not perfect or even right for you, but it is just a physical contact, to be able to talk with people. I mean, you look wonderful. I'm convinced that monotheism is truth. I cannot escape from it. Good, well, don't try to escape from it. Accept it. I do not know what such a system ultimately means to me. I perceive the Christian cross. I see it everywhere a part of it. Throw your soul away for the benefit and the elevation and so forth of the others, of the inferior substances. If I throw my soul away for them, I will have become rotten. If my soul is rotten, how can I have obtained access to the paradise afterward? Well, I'm listening to your words, but ultimately I'm not the one with the answers. I cannot help only read your words. Since I'm Lucifer, I'm this antichrist that they speak of. I think it is not healthy for you to think so hard on these things. I'm the center of this life experience. I think you need distraction. I'm fallen from the paradise beforehand. Distraction? Yes, companionship, laughter, physical contact with people, to take you away from thinking all about all this. Well, yes, I cannot help. I cannot obtain companionship online. I cannot find anybody in public. I know it is so difficult. It is almost impossible. I'm almost permanently irrecoverable at this point. That is, despair is extending out to everywhere, everybody that I come across, in public, in private. It is as though I'm completely and totally femininity denied. Well, what can come of all of this, Odin? I do wonder. What could come of this is that I'm so completely and totally femininity denied that I merely look at the person next to me, and I grasp my sword and swipe off the person's head, and I do not affect at all from this. This is what becomes of a man going too prolongedly without femininity. So you might kill someone. He could not permit this, of course, not continue to do so to me. I do not sense that I ever will. I am very pleased. Odin, have you ever seen a doctor for these thoughts before? I have not seen a doctor legitimately for essentially years by now. I'm now a totally different person than that I was beforehand. I think you should see someone now. I mean, a new different doctor. Maybe it might help you ease the pain of it all. I try to do so. I end up cancelling such sessions. I literally cannot even afford it. He cuts me off from even professional help. Ah, of course, you have to pay for this. I'm sorry, I forgot. Yes. Are these sessions very expensive? Over time they are expensive, yes. One session from time to time is permissible, though such pattern is inefficient. No interruptions can be permitted, no prolonged interruptions. I understand. You need these sessions to be continuous. Yes. It is very unfortunate, because I really feel you need this help. It is. Why the misfortune of me? What is this Creator? He does not bless me. Almost never. I turn to him further and further. He despairs me further and further. But can you be sure this is true? Is it perhaps in your own mind? I'm not sure, in fact, no. Maybe things are not quite how you think. In fact, I had affirmed ancient Greek polytheism the other night. I had legitimately sensed cheerfulness, lightness of spirits, happiness, and so forth. If this religion is invalid, and monotheism untruthful, then otherwise the monotheistic Creator would not have permitted such benevolent sentiments in relation to the affirmed Greek polytheism to have taken occurrence a part of me. I do not know that afterward I was punished exceedingly so. I'm just reading your words here, Odin. So did I deceive myself? If only I could confirm of this. Well, I wonder if it is not good to dwell on such things. If only that indeed this life experience is trivial to that of a tabula rasa, a blank slate, that is without innate archetypal ideas. If such is confirmed, I'm free to imagine my life as I wish of it. Well, Odin, I don't know. You're free. You can imagine and think whatever you wish. If I'm free to do so, then monotheism is thrown out from me, completely and totally, never affirm of that again. How terrible that is! What a god that he was to me! Despicable! Polytheism will return to me. I will be with them, with Zeus, with Hera, with Heracles. Well, I can only see things from pagan Hindu perspective. Our gods do not demand that we cower before them. Hindus dance and sing with their gods. Of course not, though. They are happy. They are gods too. We are all gods. I must retain the ethical principles that I have learned and obtained from Islam. That is, dancing is clearly haram for one thing. Fair enough. I'll not doubt myself before them. You must think whatever you will. I'm naturally virtuous. That is, nobly virtuous. Yes, you are. The ethical principles of Islam, as applied to conduct and life experience here and so forth, are not at all discomfortable to me. They continue to reign truthful and permissible to me. I think you must take from each belief system the things that help you. I will simply correlate material cause ethical principles of Islam on and across over to polytheistic formal cause, transcendental metaphysical understanding and knowledge. If that is what you need to do, then that is good. I will roam free indeed. You will. I must comprehend that such a free roaming is capable to achieve. I must actualize it. Despair will not dominate me then. I will be cheerful as I am, identifying with myself, with the self of substance as free to roam. You know that I am religiously or spiritually ultimately at your level, Frigg. That is concordant with master morality religiousness. I think you're way above me. Not with the terrible sufferable Christian nonsense that destroys me the further that I affirm of it. It tells me, do not affirm of this, Odin. We will destroy you. If so, I sense this a part of it all. Ultimately, a blank slate is affirmed of me. It can only be so. July 5, 2013. Seven 5 2013 evaluation. I'm thinking about some thoughts. I must write some of these thoughts down here. Observe first of all that he creates his creation in his own image. Right here, his attributes must ultimately resemble his image. I am his closest near-at-hand representation. He is human, he is male. He is old and aged, he is clearly bearded, he has acquired countless eras of experience and of maturity, wisdom. He is as though permissible to affirm of as Zeus, or as an Odin, or as an Osiris, or if Egyptian religion, then best as Atum, or as Ptah, He is not alone. He is Ptah. Yeah, he is not alone. He has his family together with him. The family itself. This is the fundamental organ. This is the fundamental organ to affirm. It is vital in life. Organon. This is the fundamental organon to affirm. It is vital and life-affirming here as it is up above. The up above is not removed from divergence or from transition. It is not stagnant nor fixated, neither antecedent to this life experience nor during this life experience. The family itself. This is a principle that must be affirmed here, a part of this life experience. Without such a principle, the substance is watched negatively by the avian like angels, guardians. He does not take his observation off of him. He is wrathful and does not like continuously being contemplated or comprehended by his isolated self-substance creation. The Father up above clearly despises the down below. The down below cannot obtain knowledge or wisdom without the up above administering punishment out of jealousy or out of dejective cardinal sentiments and so forth from him. The family itself, I sense the Father up above as his immediate family relatives together and a part of him. His marriage with his goddesses. The goddesses themselves are resembled archetypes of the human female physique here. He is ultimately solitary himself. He is ultimately alone, irritable and prone to wrath and terror, testy and impatient, forever philosophizing or at least moralizing, law-making or if not then law-overseeing. He is so revolved around perfection that he must create imperfect creations if he is ultimately to please himself from something that is not identifiable to his own reflection. Perfectionism in his creations ultimately drives him mad. He punishes these qualities when they have been manifest a part of them, his creations. He does not have only one goddess as a wife. He has a seed that is forever affirmative of life. He is great and the most titanic. Nobody compares to him. He creates his substances in reflection of himself, not totally or completely affirmative of such qualities as a part of them, though sufficiently so. The male physique substances may acquire and obtain multiple female physique substances at a singular time, or such to have the means and resources capable to do so and to preserve such self and with them. The Father up above conceives everything a part of this life experience through four abstractions. Ultimately, the male physique substance shall permit himself up to, and at most, 4 other wives. This is the sanity of the substances, instead of which are fine and great and genuine and rare and worthy and so forth, and capable to order himself among with them and together with them. With the 4 wives a part of his marriage, 4 abstractions manifest into precedence. Each one of the 4 abstractions shall healthily become attributable to one of each of the 4 wives. That is, the formal cause category takes precedence a part of the primary wife, attributable to the quality such as religion. The material cause wife, although secondary, though altogether treated and associated with equally by the husband, and attributable to the material cause wife to the quality category such as that of the state, the efficient cause wife to that of the house, the final cause wife to that of simplicity, the formal cause wife attributable most especially to the carable system, the material cause wife to the muscular system, the efficient cause wife to that of the reproductive system, the final cause wife foremost primarily to that of the digestive system. Both the wives and the man must cover themselves when out in public. Humankind is forever responsible for the commitment of sins and lustfulness and so forth. The man covers himself when out in public, his body altogether, with the exception of his hands and that of his head. This does not matter if the weather temperature is hot or not. He covers himself with long sleeves when out in public always. He does not reveal his figure to the other substances. They do not compete with him or judge him unfairly through this means. The wives cover themselves when out in public likewise, of course, though they are the fairer of the physiques, and are therefore more prone to other substances' commitment of sins, of lustfulness, and so forth against them. Ultimately, it is preferable to cover the wives completely from head to toe, with a preferably dark or black burqa. They must not speak loudly in public, neither in private, never. Neither they must not footstep noticeably. The aforementioned practices are essential to the vitality and the healthfulness and the sanity of the manifestations of his substances. It is preferable and ultimately legislated that only the male physique substances drive their automobiles. The wives of the husband are beautiful to him. They are a spiritual revelation to him. They are his and he is theirs. Ultimately, it is impermissible to affirm of eyeing another substance when out in public, passing by any such substance, when walking through a street, or when driving the automobile, or when entering some shop. There are incidences that occur when another substance seems to be becoming more and more customary and associative part of the self-substance's societal experience, so that then it is ultimately permissible to moderately open up more to such a substance. Ultimately only so were the substance another male physique in relativity to the self-substance. If the self-substance is without marriage, then it is ultimately permissible to moderately open up more to the other female physique substance. The male substance keeps to himself as defined above. The female substance keeps to herself as essentially defined above. They do not associate with one another themselves. They do not date with themselves, especially so never for fun or for games. The society is essentially closed off to one another. Again, the family abstraction affirms itself foremost primarily so. We are the best of friends, the most beautiful and splendid of all the abstractions. The male and female substances meet with themselves their parental or guardian arrangements, earlier and when youthful, if not then with family friendship arrangements, with the aim and purpose of marriage in mind. Concerning sexual ethics, it seems ultimately permissible that coitus alone, and that is without contraception, without foreplay, and only in the missionary position is halal to affirm, whether Islamic principles say otherwise or not. The sexual ethics is forever ponderous to me, as the sodomy is forever desirable to affirm to me over the purity of coitus, but I understand that this is ultimately temptation to serve either the purity of coitus or the strong deceptions of the devil down below, that of sodomy. Punishment is inevitably administered to the substance each and every time through such and such a means, whenever sodomy is to have been affirmed and consummated most especially. If and were he to continue affirming such acts with knowledge already of its sinfulness, the punishments become worse and worse over time, until it seems ultimately that the substance himself is to have become destroyed. Ultimately, pornography is haram and impermissible to affirm, as is of masturbation. The substance must marry when he is young, or at least as soon as he is capable to sufficiently do so. The female physique substance must never, ever act or practice hard to acquire or hard to obtain of the male physique substance, though such malevolence does not occur when Sharia law is legislated a part of the state itself appropriately. Music itself is essentially a haram. He does not ultimately enjoy stringed instruments playing their sounds. It is ultimately noise to him and to them, whether Wagner's Parsifal or not. Art itself is essentially a haram. He does not ultimately enjoy these creations, creating things of themselves. We are servants to him ultimately. He destroys self-affirmativeness. If you must create an artwork, then paint or draw that of flowers or trees or that of landscapes. He does not send guardians or angels into a room with benevolence, or the room itself at all, to contain any creations of men other than that of bare necessities. He will send the guardians and the angels into the room conditionally, and with underlying wrath were there to consist a part of the room, even one painting of a human or animal substance created by the hand of some man. Philosophy is essentially haram, essentially halal, if only to study it in order to subsequently dismiss it. He does not at all enjoy or ultimately permit of his creations to stray away from him through further and ever the more doubtful and dubious thought abstractions. This extends over from Plato and Aristotle to that of René Descartes and John Locke, Immanuel Kant and so forth, Averroes and Avicenna, Lao Tzu and Confucius, and by the end of the 19th century, all substances are clearly having already strayed from him, or if not, then they are straying from him, and reacting with vitriol sentiments against them the other substances, if desperately not to have them the others destroy themselves because of him, his wrathfulness. The pig as consumption is haram, as well as that of shellfish, that of insects, and that of essentially any material substance of consumption that predicates to the final cause, insect, devilish category. Alcohol is haram, absolutely so, and clearly so then, of course, that of any smoke or fire inhalation. Clearly so that, of course, that of any smoke or fire inhalation. Alcohol is attributable to ethanol, ethanol is attributable to fire. He does not desire his creations to reap what they sow. Their souls cannot save themselves were they to have been doused and essentially ready and prepared to light into flames. Jihad is ultimately permissible to affirm, were such principles as essentially aforementioned above to have become contested and incapable of seeing the light of the day. Headgear such as that of the keffiyeh or the shara or the smog is ultimately affirmed. Dancing is haram as mentioned elsewhere earlier beforehand. Television is ultimately haram. The computer is ultimately permissible where it's to be used appropriately and wisely, moderately. Ultimately, there's no fun in Islam, as well there's no fun in truthhood. Altogether, such aforementioned principles are defined and narrated here for the final purpose that of which I must apply essentially these principles altogether to myself, the self-substance of this life experience, if I am to take truly credible, sound, and valid old of age, maturity, and wisdom together and a part of me, along with whatever more essentially polytheistic, transcendental, metaphysical understanding knowledge that of which I must focus myself in my ultimate center of attention upon, where I affirm such polytheism. Greek foremost, primarily, then secondary Roman, then thirdly Nordic, then fourthly Egyptian, not at all Hinduism or Buddhism or Taoism, for such latter mentioned Eastern religions are clearly attributable to deficient cause category, if not then attributable to final cause category. The writing of my essential organon must be referenced to here significantly again, where I affirm such polytheism, if ultimately to obtain cheerfulness, lightness of spirits, hopefulness, optimism, joyfulness, and peacefulness, as such sentiments are otherwise not to be ever found attributable to the Abrahamic religions, not even that of Roman Catholicism, and Protestant non-denominational Christianity is forever dismissed, refuted, and denied from me. It is clearly truthful instead that mankind is forever and always accountable for his activities and sentiments and so forth over the course of his time. He does not obtain one blessing, one baptism, and then is released from his contract from the up above. Were he to baptize himself, then afterward do nothing but murder other substances and never return again benevolently to the up above, even at the time of his physical termination. He does not obtain pardon or benevolent judgment from his sinful activities. He does not gain access into the up above. The up above itself may speak the English language foremost primarily. I do not judge absolutely so upon this subject matter here. Perhaps it speaks to one another themselves, its own transcendental, immaterial languages. I do not reason that the angels or the gods or the gods or goddess I do not reason that the angels or the gods and goddesses themselves a part of the up above manifest the digestive system a part of them as otherwise known to us here. They dine on manna such as air, holy air. Water falls to the earth as does the earth element fall to the earth, the ground. The fire and the air elements rise to the up above. The up above is not down below, here a part of us, not as above, so below. No, so therefore never as such within us or a part of us here. within, where is this? No, this is vagary, doubtfulness, lacking some unwise, unknowledgeable term in place for the better material cause, formal cause terms, such as instead a part of, rather than ever within. Perhaps the up above is attributable to the sky up above, what is beyond it itself. That outer space exploration found a part of this life experience is ultimately act and practice of the strong deceptions of the malevolence down below. I will never hear a part of this life experience make it past the sky, physically actually so. I do not ultimately know what is above it, the sky, the night sky with its darkness and its stars, with its planets revealed. This is tricky, though I sense again that darkness is forever practical to the down below. Therefore, perhaps this itself, the night sky, is the formerly deceptive sky up above. The day sky, the blueness, is as though the waters of the up above sea. The sun is the father up above, sailing across the watery air of the heavens. Also, the life experience here begins during my creation, and it ends during my creation. The year of 1986, or that of 1985, 1984, had never actually physically been experienced. The self-substance, the darkness of deep waters, the mother's womb, after formalized it to have been, is the formative, generative beginning of the abstractions found here, part of this life experience. Causation and resolution does not work effectively without forever relativity to that of the self-substance. Deep, dark waters generated. He leaves me afterward to my own active and passive volition, sees what is to be made of me. Also, substances that are manifest are actually consciously manifest, though if they are not actually consciously manifest, part of my active or passive volition, then they are not at all attributable or found a part of this life experience at all whatsoever. If only such substances continue not to manifest a part of me, my own active passive volition. If I so much as think internally of another substance consciously, then such substance is manifest. If I am not even thinking of such other substance consciously, if such substance is not found a part of or attributable to the proximate actual physical threshold, then such substance is not at all manifest during such time a part of the life experience. The actual physical threshold itself does not extend outward. What is outward? What is beyond me? Such outward and beyond manifestations become obtained to me after that I have physically terminated, such that the threshold reveals itself to me. What is beyond here? What has always been beyond here? Beyond these life experiences, sensations, trials, deceptions, contests, and so forth. The actual physical threshold is the circumference of my own self-substance. My own self-substance terminates with the boundary and limitation of my flesh, so that ultimately what is beyond my flesh is nothing at all. Again, here a part of this life experience. Perception itself is tricky here, especially that concerns the abstraction mirror and of self-reflection. Ultimately, I wonder how such reflection of myself as a part of the reflection, when among the reflection that of which the other substances in my own self that I see, how such device of reflection works. I sense that the maxim, understand the wisdom of the animals, Odin. Ultimately, the dog or the bird does not see itself or know itself a part of such mirror devices or film photography devices of reflection. Consciousness of others is attributable to the formal cause category. Self-consciousness, consciousness of the self, has already very long ago been attributable to the final cause, ultimately impermissible to affirm of its category. I wish to manifest a Hera, or Aphrodite, for the time being, and I, Heracles, master morality of religiousness. It is as though Christianity, Roman Catholicism, is a profound and tremendous test for me to legitimately overcome it, to legitimately actualize something far greater, far mightier, far wiser than its pusillanimity of inferior sentimentality. February 17, 2013, note. Indeed, myself, at least I did, have a very strong and orthodox interest in Islam, having begun since during more or less October of 2012, at its plateau during probably December of 2012 and early January 2013. And now this interest has since begun to recede, though not completely nor absolutely so at this point in time. I will still study the more extreme divisions of Islam quite prevalently in the meantime. particularly so of the Sunni branch, as well as Wahhabi, practicable most primarily to the Saudi Arabian kingdom and its subjects in general, as well as Salafiyya in general, that is, the Sunnah in accordance to the first 3 generations of the Muslims, beginning since with Muhammad, as well as Deobandi division, such as practicable to Afghanistan Taliban. This video I had found and watched as of since a month or 2 earlier. That is a Western video, though it portrays finally with an insider perspective of the Taliban in an affirmative enough light. Indeed, they are ultimately good and very virtuous people. Also, the study of Islamic practical ethics in general still, I hold this itself as a very strong metaphysical interest within. This itself is in accordance with material jurisprudence of all assortment and its kind. This goes so far as to outlaw television in general, moderate computer usage, also especially powerful to myself of the essential impermissibility or wrong judgment applicable to musical instruments in general. This includes the piano in its entirety as well, clearly so that insofar as music itself is of any concern, only the voice is halal, along with occasional daf drum accompaniment. As well, concerning the science of Islamic ethics, dietary ethics are legislated and formalized, peculiarly so, though truly so, in general Islam, that is, such as the impermissibility of swine and of essentially any insect practicable creature for cuisine usage. This includes the consumption such as that of lobster and of shellfish. Also, hygienic ethics, such as the impermissibility of toilet paper over instead of hand usage. Marital ethics, such as one singular example here of the permissibility of polygamy up to 4 wives of the husband. Clothing ethics, clearly so here, such as the tobe and the keffiyeh, and also the moral enough necessity of at least the fist-sized beard. Military ethics, such as the permissibility of jihad if ultimately necessary. Sexual ethics, such as the impermissibility of sodomy or fellatio, and clearly so the impermissibility and shirk forsakenness of homosexuality altogether. There's clearly much far more practical to the practical ethics of Islam, of course. July 5, 2013.